everybody, and welcome to your Monday slot in the Five Awesome Geeks. I'm Kay, your host, and yeah, so we're talking about fantasy this week, and apparently I googled it, and these don't count as fantasy, so I'm sad. If I could beatbox, this intro would be 10 times cooler, but I can't, so it's not. So since those don't count as fantasy, which is kind of funny because the definition of fantasy is a form of literary genre in which a plot cannot occur in the real world. Its plot usually involves witchcraft or magic taking place on an undiscovered planet of an unknown world. So I guess that kind of counts because they kind of sort of take place on planet Earth. But I mean, there's some fantasy stuff that happens on Earth. Some not. So I would not get too riled up because I was thinking about it and I am more a sci-fi nerd than a fantasy nerd. I love the aspect of the fantasy world, mostly because of how beautiful it can be, because you've got like all these screens and you've got like an undiscovered area that hasn't fully developed with technology and hasn't been, well, I mean, I guess it could be corrupted by evil magic or something, which I think has actually happened in a few stories. I'm not entirely sure. Also, I'm not using my overhead light, which is why you could see the blinds right there, because that's my light. So every so often my hair color will turn in from this dark to like a red, and it's kind of funny, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about fantasy stuff that I like, which is actually few and far between, but I'm not entirely surprised by it because most of the books and stuff that I've gotten that are fantasy, either I haven't read or I started reading but not enough to the point of, oh my goodness, I completely and totally forgot one of my favorite things. I have to go get it. Oh, I cannot believe I forgot this. I cannot believe I forgot this. I feel like the world's worst, reader. So I'm gonna save the best for last to make y'all wonder what in the world is in my lap, so. It's actually kind of punishment for me because there's 9 of these in my lap. But luckily it's not really big, so it's not super heavy. So let's get started with the typical ones that y'all are probably assuming I'm going to talk about. And that is Lord of the Rings, of course. So this is the Blu-ray. I do have the Hobbit movies. I did kind of like the Hobbit movies, but that's only because I hadn't fully finished reading the book, which I do have. But, I mean, it's kind of funny how they had this teeny tiny little book, and then they made it into 3 really long movies. It's just kind of ridiculous. I love the scenery. The scenery is so pretty. It's like my favorite thing about fantasy movies is the scenery. Oh, another thing. Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna remember stuff as I go. Another movie that I liked is Neverending Story, which I think fits as fantasy. So there's that. I recently watched that, much to my best friend's surprise. She's like, "You haven't seen this movie?" I'm like, "No, I haven't seen this movie." And she's like, "You have to watch this movie." So I'm like, "Okay." So I finally got it, and I watched it, and I love it. It is like the coolest thing ever. Of course, that one scene is really sad, but what can you do? I'm just gonna be all over the place. So next up, I guess we'll talk about Harry Potter. Much to everybody's dismay, I am not as big on Harry Potter as probably some of the other people on this channel are. I do enjoy it. I do like the universe that J.K. Rowling created. I'm spacing out on author names. This is terrible. My 8th disc doesn't work on this. This is really annoying. But yeah, I really like the story, and I like the lore and everything in it. Like much fantasy stuff that I enjoy. I like the characters. The characters are good. I'm not a fan of Harry. It's more the side characters that I enjoyed the most, which is kind of funny. I think a lot of people do that, though, with the Harry Potter series. I'm not entirely sure. I can't speak for every Potter nerd. I don't know. What do you call a person who likes Harry Potter? I don't know what you call people who like Harry Potter. I haven't read the books. I had like 3 of the books, and then I got rid of them in the process of trying to like save space and all that stuff, so I'm kind of mad at myself for having done that, but on the other hand, not. Because I mean, you can get the books cheap now, so no biggie. And slightly on the note of Neverending Story is Inkheart. I think this counts as fantasy. I feel like it counts as fantasy. I mean, a book comes to life. Unfortunately, I don't remember a lot about it, so I'm just gonna say I watched it. I liked it a lot. I liked it enough to buy the book. I haven't read the book, but I liked it. That's just gonna be typical for everything, really. Alright, next up is actually an anime series, and if y'all have known me for a little bit of a while, you will know that this is one of the first anime series I was introduced to, and that is Fushigi Yugi, The Mysterious Play. I have 4 sets that go with this. There's like part 1, part 2, and then like a OVA, and then another OVA, I think. I don't know. There's a lot to it, but it's your typical fantasy romance. There's magic, there's bad guys. I don't remember much of the plot, except there's a very cheesy romance that's going on. Backstabbing with the best friends and everything. I haven't watched it in a while. If you want a drama romance, watch Fushigi Yugi. And then last on my list is the one that I had to run off and grab, and that is The Edge Chronicles. Now, I will warn you, half the reason why I bought it, the first book to begin with, well, actually, no. I got it at the library, because this was back when I actually went to the library once a week and, like, wandered around for hours on end looking for new stuff to read and such. And, ooh, there we go. Yeah, you can kind of see why I grabbed it, right? Because it's got, like, that old school book. Oh, dear, don't fall. Look to it. Whoa! Hey, no, behave. It's really heavy. It's a young adult series. Trying not to hit the... No, I think I missed. I tried not to. No, yeah, I'm actually rereading it. But no, it's actually a really good fantasy series. It may be young adult, but I really like it. The area itself is really cool, and especially how they approach it and stuff, because there's sky pirates, and then the series follows Twig, and then it follows like other people throughout the series, so it's not just about Twig. It's about like these other people that he encounter, and then it's about like another person in a different part of the world. So that's really cool. And then of course there's a map of it, and I love how they drew the map. I have to show you, because that's part of this. It is just so cool. Look at it. It is so cool. There's a few other books that are like a lot bigger, like they don't follow this look format, so to speak. But yeah, half the reason why I like this is because of the way that the books look. I'm terrible, I know. I judge all of my books by their covers. That's why most of them look really cool. So that is gonna be it for me today. Really scatterbrained. I'm sorry. I'm not as organized with my fantasy as I am with my science fiction, so that's kind of funny. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for watching, and Kio-chan, we will see you tomorrow. Bye!